a gentleman who married for his second wife, who had two daughters of her own. The gentleman had also a young daughter of fair goodness and sweetness of temper, which she took from her mother, who was the best creature in the world. However, stepmother's bad temper began to show itself. She could not bear the goodness of the young girl because it made her own daughters appear the more odious. The stepmother gave her the meanest work in the house, and the poor girl had to sleep in the garret, upon a wretched straw bed, while her sisters lay upon beds of the very newest fashion.
Oh, stand up, you should clean. Come on. Oh, don't be so lame.
But the poor girl bore all patiently and dared not complain to her father, for his wife governed him entirely.
You're so slow.
The younger sister of the two called her Cinderella, because when she had her work, she used to go into the chimney corner and sit down among the cinders hens. However, Cinderella, in spite of her mean apparel, was 100 times more handsome than her sisters. It happened that the king's son gave a ball, and invited to it all persons of fashion, including the two sisters. They were highly delighted with the invitation and wonderfully busy in choosing clothes and accessories.
But was this a good one? Oh, it's perfectly beautiful. Is Prince gonna like me?
Oh, you're so ugly.
There's some pretty, where's some pretty?
They sent for the best hairdresser they could get to make up their hair and brought patches for their cheeks. Cinderella was consulted in all these matters, for she had good taste. When the happy day came, the two sisters went to court, and Cinderella followed them with her eyes, as long as she could. And when she had lost sight of them, she fell crying.
Her godmother, who was a fairy, saw her all in tears. Cinderella explained that her wish was to go to the ball. The fairy ordered Cinderella to bring the finest pumpkin from her garden. She struck it with her wand, and the pumpkin was instantly turned into a fine gilded coach. Then the godmother went on to look into the mousetrap, where she found 6 mice, which when tapped with her wand turned a fine set of 6 horses.
But I can't go with this to a ball.
The fairy found a rat and turned it into a fat coachman with the finest mustache and whiskers ever seen. Having done that, the fairy looked at Cinderella and the rags she was wearing. She simply touched them with her wand and they turned into cloth.
Can I go with these to a ball?
No.
Try again. Can I go with these to a ball? I think they're yours. Nah, try again. This to a ball?
They turned into cloth of gold and silver, all adorned with jewels. This done, she gave her a pair of the prettiest glass slippers in the whole world. The godmother, commanding Cinderella clothes would become just as they were before.
When Cinderella arrived at the ball, the king's son, who was told that a great princess who nobody knew was coming, ran out to receive her. There was at once a profound silence. Everyone left off dancing, and the violin ceased to play. So attracted was everyone by the singular beauties of the unknown newcomer. The king's son conducted her to the seat of honor, and afterwards took her out to dance with him. She danced so gracefully that he all admired her more and more. Cinderella heard the clock strike 11:45. She hastened away as fast as she could. The next day, the two sisters went to another ball, and so did Cinderella, but dressed more magnificently than before. The king's son was always by her side. These by no means entertained the young lady, and she quite forgot her godmother's orders. She heard the clock begin to strike 12, rose up, and fled, as nimble as a deer. The prince followed her. One of her glass slippers, which the prince took up most carefully. She got cold, was quite out of breath, down her carriage, and in her old clothes, having nothing left of all her finery but one of the little slippers, fell to the one she had dropped.
A few days after, the king's son caused this to be proclaimed by some that he would marry her, whose own slipper would fit exactly. They began to try it on the princesses, then on the duchess, then on the older ladies of the court, but in vain. It was brought to the two sisters as well. They did all they could possibly do to trust the inside. They could not succeed. The gentleman who was settled to try slipper obliged Cinderella to sit down. Putting the slipper on her little foot, she found it went on very easily and fitted her as if it was being made of wax. Then Cinderella pulled out of her pocket the second slipper and put it on her foot. She was conducted to the young prince, dressed as she was. He thought that she was more charming than ever, and a few days later he married her.
And there was another ending. Stop. There are more important things than finding Prince Charming. Go away.
Wait a minute. Let's rewind that. Rewind.
You know what? I'm leaving you. Bye-bye.
guys for being awesome. That's all, folks. Yeah.